gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Here in the Bronx, CC Sabathia will take the mound to try to win this series on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon at Yankee Stadium. As Hyundai presents the Sunday game of the week. It's the New York Yankees against the Detroit Tigers in the rubber game of a 3-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with John Flaherty and Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Not a great day for the Yankees yesterday. They made a spirited comeback, fell short. They lost 7-5. And the reason that they had to come back for the second straight game, second straight start, Freddie Garcia lasted just an inning and 2/3. Really struggling, John.
Well, he's struggling, and because of that, he's going to be demoted to the bullpen. But in yesterday's start, it was all about the split-finger fastball. Last season, it was good. This year, it has not been good. In the first inning, an 0-2 pitch, he hangs it in the middle of the plate. That ends up to be a 3-run home run. The fastball doesn't have the velocity like it had last year. All the secondary pitches, because of that, are flat, and he's been getting hammered this year. He's going to be demoted to the bullpen. There will be a new opportunity for a Yankee starter.
The Yankees are 11-9, so there's nothing to complain about when you consider their starters have pitched this poorly. Look at the ERA, 6.37. Batters are hitting .314 against them, 20 home runs allowed, and the reason they are 11-9, the Yankee bullpen has been on fire, 2.09 ERA, second best in the American League. Speaking of starters, the New York Lottery pitching matchup, Max Scherzer, who did so well for the Tigers against the Yankees in the division series last year, he struggled so far this year. He'll oppose CC Sabathia 2-0 with a 5.27. Paul, last time out, Sabathia pitched well against the Rangers.
Yeah, he pitched against a good hitting team down in Texas, and it was probably his best outing of the year. He really hasn't got it going yet either. He has a 2-0 record, but here he has his power slider. He threw the ball well. He got a good lead early, and he pitched well with it. But with the holes in the Yankee rotation, it's very important now that the Yankees win when CC Sabathia is on the hill.
Well, 7+ innings out of the bullpen yesterday, so they expect innings from him today. And he's going to have to face this guy, Miguel Cabrera, red hot. Hit a home run yesterday. John Flaherty's going to break it down about Miguel Cabrera next, right here on Yes. American League home run leaders. Josh Hamilton has 9, and then 3 are tied with 7. There's Granderson, there's Napoli, and the guy we're going to talk about, Miguel Cabrera. Hi, everybody. That's John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay, and Paul O'Neill will rejoin us in just a moment. Cabrera hit a home run in the 7th inning yesterday, John, skying it the other way. For a big right-handed guy who has a lot of power, he takes the ball that way a lot.
Well, you know, Michael, he's a power hitter, but I think more importantly, he's a really good hitter in that he uses all fields and he has power the other way. And when you're catching behind him, there is no room for error. If you throw a slider in the middle of the plate, he's got the power to take it out the other way. If you throw a fastball in, he can still hit it the other way. A very good hitter who happens to be a very strong opposite field hitter.
And the interesting thing about Cabrera is I think for the first 2 strikes, he might be thinking about the home run, and he becomes a different hitter with 2 strikes.
Well, with 2 strikes, and if you watch his body, he doesn't try to do too much. He almost spreads out a little bit and really uses his hands. That's what jumped out to me on that replay, the way his hands work the other way.
Got Cabrera, you got Fielder. That's a pretty good middle of the order for the Detroit Tigers, and that's what CC Sabathia is going to try to control in this Sunday afternoon game between the Yankees and the Tigers. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, next right here on Yes. Dealers, visit bwdealer.com. By J&R Music and Computer World. And by the professionals at your Tri-State GMC dealer. Why just go when you can go pro? Beautiful shot from Heritage Field. And here at Yankee Stadium, CC Sabathia is taking his warm-ups. And why don't we take a look at the Detroit lineup that he is going to face, put together by manager Jim Leland. Tigers come in at 11 and 10. Austin Jackson leads off. He'll play center. Batting second and playing right field, Brennan Bosch. Miguel Cabrera, the third baseman, hits third. Cleaning up first baseman, Prince Fielder. Brad Eldred, the DH, will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing left field, Ryan Rayburn. Ramon Santiago plays shortstop today. He'll bat seventh. Batting eighth and catching, Gerald Laird. And Danny Worth, the second baseman, will bat ninth.
Jim Leland, manager of the Detroit Tigers, sends that lineup out there to face the number 1 starter for the New York Yankees, CC Sabathia. Decent start, 2-0. The ERA a little bit high, 27 hits and 27 in the third innings. Take a look at our pitcher's scouting report on Sabathia, and it's the same old April for CC. Worst month of any season, 19-14 record, 4.18 ERA, and that is the worst of any month for CC. But the strikeouts are on the rise, 30 strikeouts already. That's a career high for his first 4 starts, and maybe a little revenge against the Tigers. Did not have a good postseason last October, 3 appearances and ERA over 6, so trying to get a little revenge this afternoon.
So the winner of this game wins the series. It's tied 1 game apiece. Yankees won on Friday night. They lost yesterday. So this is the rubber game. Scherzer against Sabathia. The Tigers 11 and 10, Yankees 11 and 9. Austin Jackson digs in. CC Sabathia is ready, and let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch is high, and we are underway. Jackson 6 hits in his last 11 at bats, hitting .299 on the season. Strike, count 1-1.
Guys, I think about CC Sabathia in his Yankee career. I mean, he's kind of gotten off to slow starts, and at the beginning you worried a little bit. Now at this point you're like, it's only a matter of time before he gets on a run.
Just a beautiful day for baseball.
The fans are cheering. They got the roll call going early. It is. It's what Yankee Stadium is supposed to look like on the day game.
Doesn't look as if there's a cloud in the sky. Not too hot, not too cool, just perfect. There's a postcard right there. And the 2-2. Strike three. Austin Jackson down looking. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 58 degrees, 23% humidity. Wind is 12 miles per hour, and it is mostly sunny today.
I think that wind might gust to 14 or something.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's just a steady 12.
That's what we're hearing. Old Glory out in left field, and here's Brendan Bosch. Yankees have never really been able to handle Bosch since he's come up. 20 hits and 50 at-bats. That's an even 400. And he tries to bunt against Sabathia. Fouls it off.
You know, it's funny, Flash, because when you see Brendan Bosch, he's had great numbers. He had a great spring training. He's got off to kind of a tough start. That right there, he was thinking about 2 hours before the game. I'm going to try to drag bunt before. That's not something that just came about on the on-deck circle. He came in knowing CC Sabathia, tough at bat, first at bat. I'm going to try to lay one down and get a cheap hit.
Driven out into left center field. A long run for Granderson. He can't get there, and it will roll to the wall. Bosch is at second. He'll stop right there with a double. That's better than the drag bunt.
You know what? He was setting them up. He brought the infielders and the outfielders in and then just busted one over his head. But this is the same problem you saw yesterday with Freddie Garcia. Ball up in the zone. And for a lefty, I can tell you, when you're facing a lefty, you see the ball up in the zone much better than you do down away.
Well, we talked about it Friday night, Paul. I mean, you're hitting second in this lineup for the Tigers. You are going to get plenty of pitches to hit. I mean, it's not going to be the pitchers are pitching around you. They're going to throw a lot of fastballs because they're worried about Cabrera and Fielder coming up later on in the lineup.
You talk about Cabrera. You talk about lifetime numbers. Not too many guys have great lifetime numbers. He does against CC Sabathia. He's handled him well. 9 for 16 total. 563, 2 home runs.
Count 1-0 to Cabrera.
Just think of him as a hitter, though. I mean, CC tried to throw that fastball in on his hands first at bat. He can block that ball off the other way for a base hit and RBI. Anything soft, he can power it out the other way.
Ground ball to Jeter for the second out. Let's check out the Yankee defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Raul Ibanez in left, Curtis Granderson in center, and Nick Swisher over in right. Infield, Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, Robinson Cano, and Mark Teixeira third to first. Chris Stewart behind the plate, and Karsten Charles Sabathia is on the mound.
Prince Fielder, Flash, you and I both, opening game of this series, loved his approach, especially against Boone Logan out of the pen against a lefty that night. Everything was to left field. See if they try to bust him in as a left-handed hit.
Pitch outside. Yankees have allowed a lot of first inning runs, 26, which is a franchise record for the first 20 games. Nova is the only Yankee starter not to allow a first inning run. 1-1.
You're Chris Stewart behind the plate, and Paul, you're talking about how Fielder was going the other way against Boone Logan, and you got all these thoughts in your head. You know what? He went the other way against a lefty, but if I go inside, it's a short porch. How do you attack? Good pitch there, fastball in.
You know one thing, if I'm a hitter and I just saw that inside fastball, I am looking away. I don't think I'm going to see it twice in a bat if I'm Prince Fielder, knowing how short that porch is right.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. So CC doesn't allow a first inning run, and he strikes out the dangerous Fielder. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left. Tigers nothing, and the Yankees coming to bat. Let's look at the Yankees starting lineup, which is presented by Lexus. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, leads off. Batting second, playing center field, Curtis Granderson. Alex Rodriguez at third base will hit third. Cleaning up, second baseman Robinson Cano. Mark Teixeira at first base, he'll bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing right field, Nick Swisher. Raul Ibanez at left field hits seventh. The number 8 hitter, the DH Eric Chavez. And Chris Stewart in center field will bat ninth.
Well, Joe Girardi sends that lineup out against a tough right-hander, Max Scherzer. You look at the numbers on the year. He's gotten off to a slow start. The ERA over 8 and 30 hits in 19 2/3 innings. Look at our pitcher scouting report. He has better stuff than those numbers. Good fastball, slider, and a changeup. And a little confidence boost, I thought, last year in the division series against the Yankees. 7 1/3 innings, only 1 earned run. Picked up a win in that ball game. Really threw a good game. Thought it would help him this year. But he's done a terrible job with the shutdown innings. When the Tigers scores in an inning, he has an ERA over 12 the next half inning. That is not a good stat for a pitcher.
Derek Jeter is 0 for 9 after his 15-game hitting streak. And Scherzer deals outside.
To a couple of the scouts with the Tigers, and they say he's kind of working on a two-seamer, and a lot of Justin Verlander is teaching them to start out a little low, 91, 92 the sinker. Before middle innings, you start throwing that four-seamer at 97, and I don't know that everybody can be Justin Verlander.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And to me, I think you come out, you start mowing guys down, and then you get, then you worry about a rhythm. But this is a guy on a scouting report. You look at his numbers; they're not good so far. And then you see his first fastball, and you're like, how is this guy giving up this many runs?
And you talk about the combination. It's fastball, changeup is his best off-speed pitch, slider is his worst. But they're all above average.
And double clutch from a catcher, that usually means what happened, huh?
Where's that pitch? Down and away. Rob Drake behind the plate, home plate umpire today.
And Jeter walks. Let's check out the Tigers defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. In the outfield, Rayburn, Jackson, and Bosch, that's left to right. Infield, Cabrera, Santiago, Worth, and Fielder, third to first. Laird behind the plate, and Scherzer is on the mound. Granderson, 5 hits in his last 23 at-bats, 269 overall. Home plate umpire is Rob Drake. Calls that one low.
You're pitching right now, and you're going through a little tough time. Your first 6 pitches, you feel like 5 of them have been strikes, none of them been called. You're thinking, uh-oh, where do I go from here?
Popped up. Cabrera runs out of room.
Guys, I'm driving to the field today, and I'm thinking about Scherzer. And last postseason, I was in the studio, Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry. And I remember saying, this guy's got great stuff, but can he come into Yankee Stadium in a playoff start and get it done against the Yankees? And he did. 7 1/3, 1 earned run. And I really thought that game would set him on kind of the next level of his career, but he's gotten off to a slow start.
A bunt by Granderson. The play is made by Laird, so it's a sacrifice, 2-3. As Jeter moves into scoring position.
He's always pitched well here, so he's not intimidated by the Yankees. You see this? I don't know if this was trying to get a hit, but it ended up being a good sacrifice.
Jeter's on second. A-Rod at the plate. A-Rod 4 for 7 in this series. Count 0-1.
Yeah, I'm going to pay attention to that pitch today. Talking to Jim Price, an old Tiger broadcaster for years, he said Scherzer just has not been using his slider as much as he should. It's been fastball, changeup, and even a right-handed hitter is a good first pitch slider. Alex Rodriguez had him fooled. But a lot easier, Paul, when you're only worried about 2 pitches as opposed to 3 and one that's moving across the plate.
Yeah, I think that you're going to see these last couple games, yesterday especially, they're pitching Alex Rodriguez backwards, which they did. Verlander did the first day. He threw things away late in the count, and Alex had some great swings, drove one of them out of here as a home run. Now I think when they get ahead, you're going to see balls pounded inside where Alex can't use that right field porch.
Pound him inside there, count 1-2.
I'm very surprised. I mean, he, like I said, took Verlander deep, had some good swings. If you see anything other than just a flat-out mistake where he gets something hard away with 2 strikes.
94-mile-an-hour fastball low, count 2-2.
Low strikes, not a good one today, huh?
It's non-existent early on. If you're Alex, you've seen 2 sliders and 2 fastballs, and the best off-speed pitch for Scherzer is the changeup. Like a fastball in, a quick nod.
I was going to say, why have more than one sign? Oh my! That was a triple clutch on the catcher there. Ball must be in. Good pitch. Way in. See that flash? Catcher's framing that thing. Always think it hits the corner.
3-2. And a walk to Alex Rodriguez.
Well, what do you say here, Flash? I mean, you're throwing some good pitches, and all of a sudden you've had 2 walks in the first inning. What do you say right now?
If you're Laird, you go out there and say, listen, you're all around the plate. Don't get frustrated. You try to reassure a guy, I'll get those pitches for you later. I'm going to start working with Rob Drake, talking to him a little bit. Don't get frustrated because you're throwing the ball well.
And if I'm pitching, I say, Flash, I'm frustrated. I want him now. I don't want him later. Does that work?
Do the best we can for you, Max. If you're Alex Rodriguez, you got to be thinking, man, I was 0-2 with 2 good sliders. And I'm standing on first base. This might be a good day.
Yeah. Well, you're just waiting for that bust-out game for Robinson Cano. He just has not had it so far. You know it's coming. Big days usually start with a big first at bat.
Chasing Jeter back, no one was there to get the throw. Cano has 1 hit in his last 10 at bats. He's just 3 for 18 with runners in scoring position. And the numbers against Scherzer are not great, although the 1 hit, a home run. 0-1.
Look, guys, I think back to Friday night with Robinson and some of the swings that we showed from the side. He's just going forward just a little bit. And I mean, and we're talking about a guy who's hitting 250. I would love to get off to a start hitting 250 and be struggling, but he's so much better than that.
You see Scherzer, I mean, right-handed, left-handed, he's really just not a comfortable at bat. He can overthrow some stuff. He has good velocity. At times he can make perfect pitches. It's a guy you really have to battle as a hitter because there's so many things going on with movement, velocity, control issues at times. There's a changeup we talked about.
You know, a lot of times, Paul, I watch a hitter and how he takes a tough pitch. I mean, Robinson Cano did not even flinch at that changeup right there. And as a catcher, you would feel that and you'd be, well, he's seeing the ball pretty good because this is a good changeup down, a little on his front side, but not even a thought of offering. Tells me a guy's seeing the ball pretty well.
Grounded to first. Fielder thought about second, flips to Scherzer for the sure out, and the runners move up with 2 outs.
Big Prince Fielder he got here, and Alex Rodriguez, you know, right in that baseline that makes for a tough throw. I think Santiago got over there far enough beyond second base to give him an angle, an easy throw to second, so he makes a smart play and just gets an out.
And Fielder, to be honest, is somewhat misnamed. He's not a great fielder. He's a great hitter. So the Yankees wouldn't mind if he tried to make that throw to second. Must be nice for Mark. He looks around, and the Tigers are not overshifting the way most teams do, especially the Tampa Bay Rays. For Teixeira, this is pretty much straight up. 2 hits in his last 20 at-bats. Count 1-1.
Michael, I listened to you talk about that, though, and the numbers against Scherzer, they're 300. Joe Madden, manager at Tampa Bay, kind of this new wave, new era of a manager, does all the stats and the shifting. Jim Leland, as old school, I think, as you can get with the Tigers. Right. Shade him a little bit to pull. Nothing drastic.
You know, Don Zimmer used to really remind me of that. You know, that you talk about Jim Leland being the old school, just screaming. You know, we've been playing this game for 100 years, and now you're going to change things. You know, it's just the way the positions were made. And it's all about tendencies now, Flash. You're right about the scouting reports.
Grounded to second. Worth is there, and that'll do it. So the Yankees strand 2. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 men left. We played 1 at the stadium. There's no score. Yankees Tigers. This question is, so far this season, which of these storylines has been the most intriguing? You can text us at 42951, and the choices are Angels issues, Cardinals success, Kemp's dominance, or Nationals winning. I'd say Angels issues.
The most unbelievable one for me is number 1, because you know the Nationals could get off to a great start. Sure, will they hold on? Who knows? But the Angels coming into the year, you'd expect them just to, on paper, just to pound people away and contend with Texas. Texas has continued to play the way they have in the past few years. The Angels are
Eldred swings and misses.
And Pujols still does not have a home run. And it's just amazing.
Flash, did you ever have those times where you just didn't hit a home run for a long time, and you'd go to bed at night and just you dwell on it, you know, and it's once it's over, you wonder why you worried about it so much, but it drives you crazy as a player.
Nice scoop there by Teixeira to get Eldred. If you need some info on the text poll, the Angels 7-14, and as the guys mentioned, Pujols does not have a home run. Cardinals 14-7 with a new manager who'd never managed before, first in the National League Central. Kemp leads the majors in average home runs and RBI, so it would be a major league triple crown. And the Nationals 14-7, first in the National League East. Mike Matheny.
That's
another catcher.
You talk about things that happen in the game, and this year, what, two managers? Robert Ventura's never managed in the major leagues. All of a sudden, boom, you got a couple managers with no experience. They end up winning. The next thing you know, Flash, we got a chance. You know that?
Well, the great thing with Ventura, he never managed or coached anywhere. He was relaxing at home.
Well, his best attribute, and we all know Robin, is the total opposite of Ozzie Guillen.
Oh, yeah.
Going to go in there as a calm personality. Yeah. He's gotten off to a nice start, and the guys are buying in.
And these catchers, John, must be in the DNA.
Well, Matheny was doing some work over there, right, with St. Louis?
Like roving work, but he had never coached or managed in the minors.
That's a tough pitch right there. CC kind of cuts in there. 92 right on under the right-hander's hand. Tough one to handle. Really, the only thing you can do that if you hit it hard is to pull it foul. So I mean, it's a no-win situation for a hitter when a pitcher can control that pitch.
I was just thinking, as you mentioned, pull it foul, it makes you wide open for that slider. If a catcher sees you that early and throw that slider down and in, you swing right over the top. Pretty good take there.
Swing and a miss. Third strikeout for Sabathia.
Well, you're starting to notice, too, a little comfort level with Chris Stewart behind the plate and CC Sabathia on the mound. They have worked last couple of starts. The beginning of some of those games, maybe the rhythm and routine was not on. But as the games progress, it seems like both these guys getting on the same page, and a great look at a good slider.
Joe Girardi was asked, is Stewart the personal catcher for Sabathia? And he vigorously said, no. He said, but I do like when I have a backup catcher to maybe keep him to two pitchers so they could get comfortable with him. He said, but he is not CC's personal catcher. Russell Martin with the day off, at least at this point. Foul ball. Sabathia, as I mentioned, with 3 strikeouts, and coming into this game, he had 30 strikeouts, his career high over his first 4 starts of the season.
Well, that's good news for him, because when I watch CC at this point, I mean, he really hasn't gotten it going like we'll see in the middle of the season. Velocity in the low 90s as opposed to the mid 90s. Slider has gotten better, but the changeup's still not 100% there.
I think a majority of his strikeouts were changeups last year. I mean, that was a good strikeout pitch for him. And you know, as a hitter, you look at him out there, you know, he's a big guy, throws hard, good power slider, and you don't think of that changeup, and he'll wear you out with it. There's one right there. I know one thing, the first time I saw CC Sabathia as a Cleveland Indian, he didn't even think of throwing a change. No. He was rearing back and throwing as hard as he could, and he'd throw a curveball once in a while.
It's an interesting pitch selection for me right there. Fastball up and away to a kind of a slappy right-handed hitter. Usually you see the fastball up and in, maybe to set up a pitch down and away. Rarely do you see the fastball up and away.
Gerald Laird on deck.
Santiago getting a lot of respect here. He struggled against lefties this year.
Swing and a miss.
Continues to.
Strikeout number 4 as the Tigers go down in order. 1, 2, 3. For the Yankees, Nick Swisher, red hot. He'll start it off in the second. Have to miss a game again now that you can watch live Yes Network Yankees games on your PCs or laptops with Optimum Online. Get a full season of live Yankees games on the go for just $49.99. If you're an Optimum Online customer who watches Yes on IOTV, go to YesNetwork.com to get more information and subscribe now. Nick Swisher, 18th time in his career he had a 2-home run game, multi-home run game. And 11th time, he did it from each side of the plate. That's a strike.
I'll tell you what, looking back at this is the third game of this series, Nick Swisher for the Yankees swinging the bat better than anybody in the lineup right now. And he came into this series not hitting lefties well, but right-handed okay, but he's had some really good swings this whole series from both sides of the plate.
So much talk about, well, Nick is thinner this year. And we see the home runs from both sides of the plate. And Teixeira leads. That's all time with 13.
That really surprises me that Eddie Murray isn't up there a lot higher. He had, what, 500 or 600? 500, wasn't it?
I think so. And there's so much talk about Nick. Well, he's gotten off to a good start this year because he lost weight and came into camp in shape. And I talked to him about it. So I said, did you lose much weight? He goes, I was 196 last year. I'm 195 this year. As he swings and misses, I said, well, why are people thinking that you did such different things? He said, because I redirected the weight. He said, now, if you want to say I lost weight from the first time I was a Yankee, he said, I came into camp then at 225.
Wow.
He said, so I was a lot bigger. He said, now I've redistributed on my body.
Well, he was talking he did a different workout, right? It was more powerlifting and things like that, which maybe he made a little bit of an adjustment because he had a bad spring injury-wise. And I think about his start, the month of April, how good it was, and he didn't have a full spring training.
Missed a lot because of a hip pointer problem, groin injury. Our truck looked it up, Paul, 504 for Eddie Murray.
A lot of homers, any way you look at it.
I think guys like Murray, though, and Mantle, they probably didn't get a chance to hit from each side of the plate because you didn't have that many different moves pitching-wise. Yeah, you didn't have setup guys and specialization guys. So if a righty started, you would probably get hitting the whole game left-handed.
Well, that must have been a good feeling, Flash, when a righty started and he had nothing and he was going to pitch. That's just the way it was. And the guys coming out of the bullpen were guys that weren't good enough to be starters. So if you got to the pen, you really got to make some hay. Now you've got lefties that are throwing sidearms, standing on their head, all kinds of stuff going on in the bullpen.
The guy standing on the head must be a distraction.
It's a tough time. It's hard to pick up the baseball.
So Ibanez walks. And here's Chavez getting a lot of playing time. Yesterday he was the third baseman. Today he's the DH. Yesterday he actually pinch hit and almost won the game. Or tied the game with a long fly ball right down the line, but Kelly made the play. He was the third baseman on Friday.
Well, you think back to last year, and Eric got some opportunities early on and was swinging the bat well, and then went down with the injury. You just keep your fingers crossed. Some days at DH, playing a little third, maybe a little first.
In the Yankees' first 20 games, Alex Rodriguez has already DH'd 5 times. So you could see that following through 6 months in the season. He'll probably DH 30 times, maybe a little bit more, as they try to keep him healthy and keep him fresh.
Tell you what, looking back at yesterday's game, he just missed tying that game up in the bottom of the ninth. The Yankees fought back, got him to the plate as a tying run off Valverde, and just missed. Valverde made a mistake and came in, and he just missed it. We might still be here, Michael. You would have missed the Broadway show and everything.
I did see it. Magic Bird, good job about Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. I got there with plenty of time to spare.
Oh, made for a great night for us. I got to about 42, had my great dinner with Frank and Mary. Everything was perfect.
Ground ball through for a base hit. Ibanez will stop at second. So Chavez picks up a single.
Now, does that frustrate you as a catcher, Flash? I mean, you've got a sinker baller trying to get a ground ball there. You know, he's kind of turning it over a little bit. You get the ground ball, but all of a sudden you look out, there's nobody in the hole.
You watch the action on this pitch, maybe up a little bit, but to your point, he gets the ground ball that he's looking for, but Eric's such a veteran hitter, sees that hole between first and second, a nice little 3-hopper. I'm sure you've done that a million times in your career.
Every once in a while, in the back of my mind, Don Zimmer would say, you know, when that guy's on first, there's a hole over there you could drive a truck through over there. And I'd get to the plate, you know, Knobloch Jeter would lead off with a single, and I'm like, God, there's a hole over there a truck could drive through.
Here's
just
Chris
to
Stewart.
Myself.
Chris Stewart actually has had advice passed to him from Reggie Jackson, and Reggie, great Hall of Famer, invokes our very own John Flaherty. And he was told, Chris Stewart, John Flaherty was the perfect second catcher because when he was up there, he knew what he was up there. He was a hack. He wasn't taking pitches. And he knew what he could do. And he said to Chris Stewart, if I ever see you taking more than 3 pitches, what are you doing? They don't want to walk you.
Might as well get loose, give yourself an opportunity.
Well,
right?
you know what? And Reggie gave me that advice before I even made the team in the spring of '03 behind a batting cage. And he said, you're going to hit ninth in this lineup whenever you play. And you should be the guy that the visiting team is talking about on the way to LaGuardia Airport. That it wasn't A-Rod or Jeter or, you know, Giambi at the time. It was Flaherty hitting ninth who ambushed us and got us with a big hit. And, you know, to Chris Stewart's praise here, he's done that early. He's had a couple of big hits. But to Reggie's point, if you see 3 or 4 pitches as a backup and you're hitting ninth, it's probably not going to work out for him. He's gotten 2 fastballs the first 2 pitches in the whole 0-2.
He told Chris, do what John did. Get up there, sit on a fastball, and pull it.
Yeah, I think it almost simplifies it, Paul, because as a backup, if you're Chris Stewart, you're worrying about fastball, slider, changeup from Scherzer, you're in trouble. You know, it's almost got to be get on the plate, look for a fastball, and pull it early. And if you do, great. If you don't, get back to work with CeCe.
Well, the thing is was a backup catcher, and now some of the backup catchers get much more action than they used to. But you're just not tuned in to hitting every day. You're not fine-tuned like these guys that are out there. So, to pick up the slider or sit on a certain pitch. I mean, you're right. Look for a fastball. They're coming after me. Put it in play and hope it finds grass.
And when you talk about a meeting with Laird and Scherzer before the game, I'm sure Chris Stewart was not the first priority on that list. It's how do we get the guys out in the middle, and you almost go through a generic scouting report on Stewart. Might have trouble with the breaking ball with 2 strikes. See what happens.
Popped up. Fielder makes the play for the second out.
Michael, if I was playing right now, I would have been running in from right field. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh, I noticed.
I took the headphones off with 2 outs.
If we had a fine system here, you would have been fine.
Every once in a while in a flash, I don't. It's harder for a catcher, but you just swear there's 2 outs. You see a fly ball, you put your head down, or maybe you're hitting the next inning. You start running in, and all of a sudden you look and nobody else is moving.
First and second, 2 outs, and here is Jeter. He walked in the first inning.
I mentioned that changeup from Scherzer, his best off-speed pitch. Really didn't show it the first time through. But first pitch to Derek Jeter there, a changeup, and a good one.
One and one.
And it really reaches across his body when he tries to throw that ball to the outside corner, and he's almost tugging it. I mean, he's having trouble locating that ball in the outside corner to righties.
One. 95 miles an hour.
Starting to heat up a little. And you see, he kind of crossfires, and he really reaches out and kind of pulls that ball over when he tries to throw the ball away. Looks comfortable on the neck, doesn't it, Flash? Starting to let him loose. That's 94 there, and you get 94 with movement. Derek Jeter, A-Rod, some of those guys, you get it in on their hands. That's the tough pitch to hit.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. No score, bottom of the second.
Wow.
Everybody was moving off the field. But first base umpire Corey Glazer said no, he didn't go.
Well, if you're Gerald Laird behind the plate, you like the pitch. I mean, the first, you're not even thinking. That ball's got plenty of plate in his mind. Right on the corner, perfect pitch. Does not get the call, but it's been a common theme from Rob Drake early on. Tight strike zone.
Everybody's heading to the third base side. Now the runners will go. Grounded in the hole. Nice stop by Santiago, and that saves a run, a base hit for Jeter.
Well, in my mind, Jeet got a break, and he took the most of it. He got a pitch over the plate there, drove it into the hole.
Nice play by Santiago to knock it down. Keeps it in the infield to save a run. But a nice job by Laird going out to the mound now to have a little conference with his pitchers. We get another look at the replay. Fastball down and away. It hits pretty hard. Laird's job, the catcher, is to calm your pitcher down. I mean, a close pitch. You didn't get the call. Now your base is loaded, 2 outs to a very, very dangerous Curtis Granderson.
Granderson sacrificed in the first inning. 1-0. That's a very small box that Drake is calling.
Well, and you can see Gerald Laird just turn around and ask Rob Drake. They're having a conversation right now because it's pitch after pitch. And
Flash, I'm going to kick you out of the booth. You're going to get ejected up here.
You know what? My guy's working hard. He's all around the plate, and the strikes. It's a hitter's umpire early on.
Again, what's going on here is you see pitch after pitch. This is his 50th pitch, you know, in the second inning.
Good pitch.
2-2.
Really good pitch. He's got a plus changeup and great arm action and the ability to throw it for a strike. 2-1. Drops down and away. It doesn't get much better than that.
You know what that hurts? Watch your elbow. It hurts your elbow because it kind of snaps at the end because you're so far extended with the bat and you're trying to reach.
2-2 pitch. 3-2. That'll start the runners.
It's becoming the thing here.
Well, all right, Paul. It's 2-2 and you see a changeup and he misses. I mean, the old saying in baseball: if you throw it 2-2, you might as well throw it again 3-2. Do you sit on it as a hitter?
No, I'm looking for
fastball.
3-2. He's having enough trouble getting that changeup over at time. He threw it.
And he walks him. That'll force in a run. Yankees lead 1-0. Now Jones, the pitching coach, will come out.
Well, that's a tough conversation. I mean, we've talked about the umpiring behind the plate, a lot of close pitches not going Scherzer's way. If you're a pitching coach, you really don't want to change too much. You know, you're doing a pretty decent job just not getting the close calls.
Just got to make sure, you know, you're down 1-0. Chances are your team's going to score some runs at some point. You can't allow your frustration right now to turn into a 4-0 game just because you kind of lose concentration.
That walk by Granderson, that was his 500th career RBI. Here's Alex. With the bases loaded, he walked in the first inning. Poured a fastball right in there, 0-1. 22 grand slams, one behind Lou Gehrig for the most all time. Eddie Murray retired. Manny Ramirez, serving out of suspension, will return after 50 games with the Oakland A's. Dribbled slowly to third. Going to be a tough play, and there'll be no play. A base hit for A-Rod. Chavez scores, and the Yankees lead 2-0.
Well, if you're Scherzer, you know, what do you do, Paul? I mean, he throws a good changeup in. Alex rolls right over the top. Cabrera, his only play is to try to barehand it. Does not come up with it. Bunch of walks, a couple of infield hits, and a good look on Yesmo. Cabrera trying to get a handle. He cannot. And again, another look at the changeup. It was a first pitch fastball, second pitch changeup. Swings right over the top. Throwing the ball a lot better than what the numbers indicating early on in this game.
That ribby ties Alex Rodriguez with Willie Mays for 8th place on baseball's all-time RBI list. So they both now have 1,903 runs batted in.
You know, if you know nothing about baseball, but you say, you know, that just you throw Willie Mays in the mix, you're like, wow,
pretty good.
This guy must be pretty good.
And Willie Mays is his next target on the all-time home run list. Willie with 660. there's that list. So next up on that list is Eddie Murray and then Jimmy Fox. Hank Aaron is first with 2,297, and Alex should be able to get there. One and two.
So every once in a while when Robbie goes through these little funks, it's usually because he doesn't have control of the strike zone. You know, he's swinging at the pitch before was down a little bit, that ball up a little bit, just not getting real good pitches to hit.
1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. But the Yankees with 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and the bases are left loaded. We played 2. It's 2-0 Yanks. This season, subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Yankees out-of-market game live, online, and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. So the Yankees with a less than resounding rally, but they get 2 runs. And here's Gerald Laird. And a strike from Sabathia. Sabathia with 4 strikeouts over 2 innings. Laird against CeCe, 8 for 17 lifetime. Driven out to right center. Coasting over is Granderson, and he'll put it away for the first out. On the Lincoln scoreboard, it's 2-0 Yankees. Top of the 3rd. Here's Danny Worth. They called Worth up when Delman Young was put on the restricted list. Count 1-1.
Second round pick out of Pepperdine University in 2007.
Pepperdine sounds like a place that would be nice to spend 4 years.
State, Fullerton, Pepperdine, just places you think, you know, how do you get through school? It's kind of nice out there.
1-1. Pepperdine, I'm told, is in Malibu. So I really do wonder.
Not a bad place to hang out. California kind of guy, Mike. I remember years and years out in Anaheim, you were just hanging out by the pool with your shades on. That's you.
Good times, yeah. And the 2-2 from the Yankee lefty. Right in on the hands.
All right, Paul. So Michael was recruited to Fordham for broadcasting, right?
Yeah.
I was recruited to GW for baseball.
Okay.
What schools were you looking at?
I had signed my letter of intent to University of South Florida.
USF?
Yeah, I went to a school visit down there. I'd left Columbus, Ohio, and it was like 40 and dreary. And I got picked up at the airport by the then coach Robin Roberts. Took me to the beach. It was 80 and sunny. I'm like, where do I sign? Yeah, I had played enough baseball in Ohio in the early spring to know I wanted to go somewhere. Good pitch on the outside corner.
John, I'm flattered, but I don't think Fordham actually heard me announcing games in the stands. Saying, I got to recruit this guy.
Do you recruit Michael Kays out of the stands?
It is such a fine communications university. They spotted talent.
Wow. They must have been way up a deck across the street as I annoyed my friends doing play-by-play.
That's how great of a school it is.
We got to have this kid.
We got him. It's not long before they name a street after you something over there, Michael. Large.
A large street?
A big 4-laner.
1-1 to Austin Jackson. Driven out to right field, but Nick Swisher is right there. And CeCe is retired 8 in a row. All right, we're going to go to the bottom of the third inning, and Martin Teixeira will start it off for the Yanks. Show. The skipper looks back at the first month of the season, including this tough week against Texas and the Tigers. Plus, Joe answers your questions submitted on Facebook and Twitter. It's a new Joe Girardi show today after the postgame, only on Yes. You talk about living large, Paul. That's our boss, John Filippelli, in the owner's box.
What a you can say anything you want now, Michael. He's not listening.
He's got a DVR at home.
Oh, he's got the encore presentation.
He's with the Grush family, and all the way on his right is Flip's wife, Jenna.
He might have something in his ear. Look, he's laughing.
I think he's just hearing stuff.
He's got people in his head.
Yeah. Lincoln scoreboard, 2-0 Yanks. The straw man in the house, Darryl Strawberry. Popped up. And there's one away as Teixeira is retired. Mark really struggling right now. 2 for his last 22.
As you see Darryl Strawberry in one of the booths there, I remember back when I was with the Detroit Tigers as a kid, and he had just come over to the Yankees, taking extra batting practice and hitting balls at the old Tiger Stadium I'd never seen hit the other way.
He might be the best all time. Batting practice. He hit, remember the UT sign in the old ballpark? Michael, that back wall up by the train almost. He dotted the girl's eye in the UTS ad one day in batting. It was the most awesome thing I've ever seen in my life. Just had that perfect arc, kind of a home run swing.
You know, growing up in New York and not being a Met fan, but you'd see Darryl, you know, in his heyday, and then to watch him take BP at the old Tiger Stadium. Center field was what, 440?
440, yeah.
And he was going just to the left of center in that upper deck out there. It was amazing.
If Darryl didn't have the issues that he had, he might have been a Hall of Famer. Because when the Mets signed him, people were saying he's another Ted Williams. That kind of swing.
He and Gooden, did they come at the same time? Or?
He was, I believe he was a little before Dwight. Yeah. But 1 or 2 years separated them.
Mr. Steinbrenner brought them both over here, and they both did well. Kind of at the end of their careers, but I mean, Straw really fit in well as a not even an everyday player, but some big hits, some big home runs. Dwight Gooden comes over, ends up pitching a no-hitter one year. They was fun guys to play with.
Darryl came up in '83, and Gooden came up in '84 with the Mets.
What about Darryl as a teammate? Because I just think back to that fight with the Orioles.
Yeah.
And I don't know Darryl. I mean, I've met him a few times, but boy, he seemed.
Straw was a good teammate in that sense too. He was usually the first one out of the bench. I remember the big brawl that we had in Seattle, and it was early in the season in '98. And I remember the next day walking in. I was at the plate. There's one of Straw's. These might take a while to come down. So, and I remember walking into the clubhouse the next day, and Straw said, "O'Neill, you got to stop this stuff. I'm too old for this stuff." He had about 6 people on top of him the night before. There was the old Shea Stadium there.
Now Joe Girardi is out at first base with Steve Donahue talking with Swisher. Don't know what's going on.
Trying to think back to that at bat. If he took any swings, maybe that were a little uncomfortable. Looks like he's going to be okay.
Yeah, it was like running okay. Must have been something in the hand or something.
Maybe something with his foot.
Grabbed his back hamstring.
See, if you get enough replays, you can just dissect it and figure out what happened. Every once in a while, when you take a swing, your spikes kind of catch, and you kind of torque a knee or hamstring or something. Nothing major, but it's a twinge.
Looked like he was trying to grab it again there.
tell you, when those things start tightening up, it doesn't matter what you do. They don't loosen up.
I talk about this all the time, though, with managers. It's got to be so hard to pull the trigger. And, you know, I think Joe Girardi, Stevie Donahue were watching this.
Is this a 2-pitcher rule? If you go out twice, does he have to come out?
Oh, well, they're taking him out.
But just think, Paul, I mean, players are going to say, I'm fine. I can play. You know, they're proud men. They want to be out there. And the manager, you got to take that decision away from them. That's what Joe Girardi just did.
Yeah, I mean, the worst thing you can do, especially with a hamstring, is you feel it kind of grab, and you think that, you know, maybe it's like a little cramp or something, and it keeps grabbing. The worst thing you can do is to injure it worse. If you get it right now where it's nothing, you know, Stevie could go in there and get some stuff going on it, and, you know, you might even just miss a day or so.
Ibanez pops it up.
Uh-oh, Michael. Here we go with left field again. Left field has been an adventure this series. Yesterday, Dirks, he had a really, really good game out in left field. It looks like the
Rayburn made the catch there. On Friday, Paul's talking about Ibanez had a struggle. Kelly had a struggle out in left field as well.
Rayburn usually a second baseman, though, right?
Mm-hmm. Is it tougher to play the outfield when there are no clouds?
They call it the high sky. You talk about what that means. I mean, the sky's always high, isn't it? But it was always a kind of a thing. It was high sky, and sometimes your depth perception is kind of weird on a high fly ball when there's no clouds.
As a catcher, pop-ups on a day like today were a nightmare.
Really?
Well, they were right above you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you had the high sky, and you didn't have that depth perception. You throw that round sphere into it.
Beautiful thing. And you just love sunny days now, and you hated that sun shooting in your face when you were playing, and you'd lose balls in it and everything else.
That might be by the way, it's early. It's April 29th. It's early, but that might be the quote of the year to this point. What? The sky is always high.
Well, isn't it? I mean,
sometimes the simplicity is beautiful.
It's not like you wake up out of bed one day and you can just reach it. You know, it's out of reach. It's high.
3-0 to Chavez. Yankees lead 2-0. We're in the bottom of the third. .74 pitches for Scherzer here in the third.
Flash, we keep saying, the guy's got good stuff, and he just keeps up. It's like a slot machine. These pitches just keep coming and coming.
And another walk. Runners on first and second. And that's going to bring up Chris Stewart.
That'll be frustrating for Jim Leyland. I mean, you look back, this guy, the second half of last year, I mean, he was one of the better pitchers and had a great playoff. And all of a sudden, you come in and he's struggling, but it's not lack of velocity or lack of movement. It's just, a pitch here or a pitch there.
There's a strike.
He's got 6 walks in this game. And I'm thinking back, that walk right there to Eric he was all over the place. But there were a few other ones where you're saying
could have been strikeouts.
Could have been strikeouts. Woulda, shoulda, woulda.
Oh, 0-2.
Seems to be a Stewart theory on hitting. Get up there, get your hacks. We talked about it. You're 0-2. Now let's try to put something in play.
High fly ball into that high sky. Austin Jackson calls off Rayburn, and that will do it. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We go to the 4th inning. 2-0. Quiz. Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle were one of 3 sets of Major League Baseball teammates to hit 40 or more home runs each during the 1961 season. Who were the other 2 sets?
I got no chance here.
2 in a row. You deserve to sit this one out.
That's a good way to not missing it. Just sit it out.
Here's Brennan Bosch as the Yankees hold a 2-0 lead. Check swing, and Andy Fletcher agrees. Raul Ibanez has moved from left to right with Nick Swisher leaving the game. And Andrew Jones pinch ran for Swisher. He'll take over and left. And we'll wait on a report from Swisher. Looked like something with his hamstring. 1-1. Bosch, the only hit against Sabathia so far. A double to left center in the first inning. Oh, look at that O'Neill shirt. There's been a couple of them out in the last this weekend.
I brought a few with me. Got them out of the suitcase.
The blue's starting to fade a little bit. They're getting a little old.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, there's not a 10. There's a 10-year warranty on it. It's just starting to run out. You don't sport my tee around, Michael?
Not outside. Walking around the house.
Don't tell me you're sleeping or something, because that's a little creepy.
Yankees made a roster move today. Freddie Garcia was sent to the bullpen. That's not a roster move. DJ Mitchell was called up from AAA. He's in the bullpen today. And Cody Epley was optioned to AAA. And Epley did a nice job when he was up here, but they don't have Phelps available for long relief today, so they had to have DJ Mitchell up.
That announcement about Garcia, I mean, like, came from Freddie Garcia, though, right? Did anybody else announce it that he's not going to be pitching? Or?
Well, he's the one who said it. Joe did not say anything during his press conference. He said they're considering options, and he said that if there was a move, David Phelps could be the guy that would take over. He would trust him as a starter. Swing and a miss. Bosch down on strikes. I just think that, and I don't want to put words in their mouth, the Yankees can't believe that a guy that was throwing 89 or 90 in spring training is now down to 85 and 86, and that there could be nothing wrong, but Freddie is insisting there's nothing physically wrong with it. And Joe said you can still get people out of 85, 86. He said, but his other pitches also have dropped in velocity, he said, and that's hard.
Well, I think back to Mike Mussina right away. Our good friend Michael, who velocity dropped quite a bit, but actually pitched inside more when the velocity went down and became obviously effective again. And I know you guys saw Freddie yesterday. Did he pitch inside with his fastball at all, or it's just pretty much away, slider, split?
Yeah, but there was some times where you couldn't even tell the difference between the slider and the split. It was just so flat, and it was really weird. Everything was up, and you know as well as I do, when you're throwing that and you don't have much movement and it's up in the zone. Guys were going up there not worried about being behind in the count, just waiting it out till he made a mistake and just hammered it.
Hammered right at A-Rod. He made the catch. Or might have caught him. 2 outs.
Well, such a good hitter can go the other way with a fastball, but if you throw a slider down and in, speeds up his bat. Line drive right at third.
That ball right there, as easy as that looks on television, there is so much movement. You talk about movement on a sinking fastball. That's movement on a sinking line drive, and you're so close. And Cabrera hits the ball so hard. Tougher play than it looks. Ever get called into the office, Flash, from the Yankees in this situation trying to figure out?
That one's driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. Long home run for Fielder. His first home run in 72 at-bats, the second longest drought of his career.
Third home run of the year for Fielder, and it was not a cheapie. Paul, you mentioned before his approach the first night of this series, everything was away, staying on the ball the other way. The power has not been there through a little stretch, but when he gets a mistake and you have that approach of middle the other way, go a long way. A slider up and in, no doubt about it. Mistake from CeCe Sabathia, and Prince Fielder took advantage.
Pitch to Brad Eldred as a strike.
Good sound to this, and then the only doubt was whether it was going in the second or the third deck. And I mean, Prince Fielder has that type of power, but if he stays out all over the field, he's going to have quite a year.
One hopper grabbed on the outfield grass by Cano. Nice stretch by Teixeira, and that will do it. But the Tigers on the board with the Fielder home run. We go to the bottom of the fourth, and Derek Jeter will lead off. Maris and Mantle were one of 3 sets of baseball teammates hit 40 or more home runs each during the 1961 season. Who were the other 2 sets?
I'm about to throw Hank Greenberg in there.
So past his time. Cepeda and Mays, and Colavito and Cash. I hope Cash had a great year that year, as you can see. You wrecked your perfect record.
Oh, I threw a name out there. That did.
But you were wrong. If you had sat it out.
But you know, sometimes when you get a day off, you got to pinch hit too. You know, you don't get the whole day off.
But if you have a 17-game hitting streak, you don't want to just have it ride on one at bat.
That's ball 4. You know, it didn't count. It was unofficial.
I just got a tweet from R.I.P. Kingo, who said, "Tell O'Neill that the major MLB.com shop started selling those O'Neill shirts again."
Really?
Yeah.
See?
Does that put money in your pocket?
I'm sure Netley gets the mail, so I'm sure it doesn't put much in mine.
Jeter could not hold up. He goes down on strikes. You still getting paid for the Seinfeld episodes?
I think I get $57.50 an episode. When I get a rerun,
right,
you get a SAG, Screen Actors Guild, SAG for short. You know, when you're part of the SAG.
$57.50.
You get like $57.
But they run those all the time. Is it every time it's run anywhere?
I don't get checks all the time, but I do get some for. They're 57 something.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a dinner for 4 in Cincy, though. Huh?
And it was one of the great lines to Kramer. You know how hard it is to hit home run?
I was telling the truth, too. I wasn't acting. Oh, those are good old days, though, right, Michael?
Good stuff.
I'll have you know I went 0 for 4 that night, though. So it started out fun.
So you taped it while the Yankees were in Anaheim?
Yeah, we were in Anaheim. I went over to the studio. They picked me up, and then I came back and remember it well. Chuck Finley was pitching that night. Who wasn't a real good matchup.
Were you a one take, Paulie?
Two. We did two of them, but I think they used the first one.
Let's see. Bernie did Seinfeld. You, Tartable,
yeah.
Showalter. I think that was it.
Was George never on the show? Mr. Steinbrenner never made the show. I mean, they
no.
acted him all the time, but they never.
High drive, deep to right field. Bosch back. So is Jackson. He leaps.
Oh my!
And it's gone. A home run for Curtis Granderson. Jackson just missed making that play. And Granderson with a homer to give the Yankees a 3-1 lead.
Curtis Granderson still, I mean, this, I didn't know if he got this or not. What an effort.
I don't know.
Oh, it was right up against the fence.
Wow.
Wow.
Again, you know, how athletic that play is and how quick it happens, you just don't understand how close that was to being an unbelievable play. I tell you, Curtis Granderson, I just can't figure it out. He just continues to do it, just continues to hit home runs. Almost got one taken away from him there. Wow. What a try. Oh! His arm hit that railing, or that ball was in his glove. You talk about your heart stopping for a minute. Hey, wait a minute here. He didn't catch that, did he? Oh, there, great.
And those were two of the guys in that trade. Scherzer's hoping, looking, wishing. So Granderson, that was his 501st run batted in his career.
You can tell Scherzer, even, and you hate to get back to Freddie Garcia over and over again, but you can tell how Scherzer in the mid-90s gets away with pitches sometimes over the middle of the plate. And when you're pitching at 85, 86, you don't get away with those pitches. 94 there with a little movement, tough pitch. And they definitely have gone to a different sequence against Alex Rodriguez after game one. Coming in on late, not going away.
Well, Scherzer's given up, what, 3 runs here with 2 outs in the 4th inning. And when his stuff, if he didn't have the type of stuff that he has with all the runners on base today, I mean, this could very easily be an 8-1 game. But it's just got to be frustrating for a pitching coach, Jeff Jones, Jim Leland, the manager, because you kind of expected this guy maybe to take it to the next level this year, and he's gotten off to kind of a slow start.
Ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. So Cano now 1 for 3.
Well, he's just waiting for Robinson Cano to get on one of those tears, and just takes a ground ball right back up the middle.
Here's Mark Teixeira. He is 0 for 2. We just looked it up, Paul, that today is Jerry Seinfeld's birthday. He turns 58. So why don't you send him one of those 5750 checks?
We're going to have a little cast party tonight. me and the boys. Happy birthday to Jerry Seinfeld. You seen him just a stand-up comedy?
Yes, I have.
Awesome.
That's great. Can you make a plea right now? We've been trying to get him on center stage. Haven't been able to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
He's like the only guy that's
resisted. Yeah.
We know he's a true Mets fan. He might have something to do with it.
It's not, the show's not about the Yankees.
Okay.
High fly ball. Austin Jackson is there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the fourth. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. That 1 run almost wasn't a run. Great try by Austin Jackson, but just missed. Consensus, Bob, is he's going to do well. We were both wrong. I said 2 for 4. You said 1 for 4.
Somebody's got to win. Who's closer?
You, because
okay.
I said 2 hits. You're closer. So you win. And he also made a great throw from the outfield, which Bob said, and it wasn't caught by the catcher. This kid's got all the tools.
We saw him in spring training a little bit. Just his at-bats look like they're advanced. You know, he doesn't look out of control at the plate.
I'm anxious. I mean, I'm anxious to watch. I've never seen him hit. I've never seen an at-bat. I've never seen him hit. I've just...
You know who he reminded me of was Hosmer from Kansas City, the first baseman. Kind of a spread-out stance, not a whole lot of movement. The hands work real well, but I can't imagine the pressure, is that the right word, expectations?
Well, we were talking yesterday, probably the happiest guy that he's called up is Strasburg. Because now all the media and everything, every time, it's all on Harper now, where Strasburg can just go pitch, you know?
And Harper, for those Yankee fans that might want to care, is the biggest Yankee fan. The absolute biggest. Really? Grew up a Yankee fan. His father idolized Mickey Mantle, so his favorite player, although he never saw him play, was Mickey Mantle. As Rayburn grounds out. A nice scoop by Teixeira, saving Jeter an error. And that's why he wears number 34. 3 and 4 equals 7. Mickey's number.
Well, such a luxury for the Yankees when you have Mark Teixeira over there. Derek Jeter can throw a little bit wide, a little bit low. Confidence that your first baseman is going to make the play.
Textbook there. I mean, you get down to, you know, get that glove down. You don't jab at the end. You get that glove down and just soft hands.
I never played the infield, but you think about what a luxury it is when you just don't have to be perfect. I know throwing to second base when you had a good middle infielder, you know, who could pick the ball and apply a tag. It just makes your life so much easier. You don't have to be perfect with your throws.
the colors there from that shot. Did you see that, Michael?
Popped up to left field. Andrew Jones there. That color right there?
Yeah, the 4th of July colors. Red, white, and blue everywhere.
It's a great day. It really is a beautiful day. Any day that the two of us don't sweat, we're signing up.
No, yesterday, first day we were freezing. I'd much rather be here when it's 50 than 90. The funny thing is, though, you'd much rather play when it's 90 than when it's 50.
Priorities change. Laird takes low. Laird's brother Brandon actually plays for the Yankees AAA team. And Brandon has really impressed the Yankees in spring training. He plays hard, lively bat, reliable in the infield, and he's only a phone call away. Three and 0.
.61 pitches. CC Sabathia has been a strike throwing machine all afternoon. Really, the first count he has gotten way behind here. 3-0 to Laird. 41 strikes, 20 balls.
And a walk to Laird. Come out to Yankee Stadium Tuesday, May 8th for a special giveaway when the Yankees take on the Rays. The first 18,000 guests in attendance are going to receive a hand sanitizer keychain courtesy of New York Presbyterian Hospital. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849.
What was that Garden Gnome? Wasn't that Garden Gnome Day today?
It's coming up. No.
Oh, it's coming up?
No.
I haven't seen one. I thought something was wrong. Giveaway, the Garden Gnome. Michael said you could have his flash. He's not going to. You've got plenty of places.
I got a beautiful garden that my wife maintains. So
glad to hear that.
Line drive caught by A-Rod to end the inning. Danny Worth hit it hard, but A-Rod was right there to stop it from going into the outfield. How's this for reaction time? And that's in slow motion. We're halfway through. Yankees up by 2. Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org. If you hadn't had a chance to go to Heritage Field. It really is beautiful. They did such an unbelievable job on the side of the old Yankee Stadium. It's these pristine fields. I think there are 3 of them, and they're in great shape. Kids are using them all the time. Just an unbelievable job, and keeps the memory of what happened on that piece of real estate alive.
That's not the field we shot the commercial where Bob Lorenz beat people up and stuff, was it?
No, that was across the street.
That was hilarious. I loved it.
Andrew Jones swings and misses. His first at bat. He had a pinch run for Nick Swisher. Looked like he tweaked a hamstring. We haven't received any word yet.
Well, interested to see how long Scherzer could go in this ballgame. He threw 103 pitches his last outing. I believe he's already up to 100. Tiger bullpen starting to show some life.
Luke Peconin.
I'll tell you what, Flash. We got to see Valverde yesterday let the Yankees back in the game, and I'll tell you one thing: if he comes in the game, you better get comfortable.
It'll take a while.
3-4 minutes of pitch, walking around, looking up. He's got a high sky to look into today. Might be.
The sky's always high, right?
Yeah. It's job done, though. Every once in a while, you just see a pitch that a guy was not looking to drive up the middle, was trying to hit it out of the stadium. And right there, Andrew Jones put everything he possibly had into trying to hit that ball.
How about that little the moon?
So high you can see the moon.
(3-1). Now the last out of the 5th inning was the line drive by Worth. So let me ask both of you: would you rather, do you get more aggravated hitting the ball that hard and getting nothing, or looking bad at the plate and striking out?
Well, for me, I'm frustrated with it, but the next time if I just hit a line drive, the next time up, I feel like I get a good chance of getting a hit. When you look silly at the plate, you're like, how long is this going to last? Because you usually feel pretty bad.
How about you, John?
There are times I remember in my career I'd walk up to the plate and feel completely lost, embarrassed. And there's no worse feeling in all of baseball. I mean, you'd walk up there saying I have no chance right now. And on the flip side, when you hit a line drive at somebody, you walk up there with a little bit of confidence that I might not get a hit, but at least I got my act together, because there are times when I had no chance.
How about when you feel that, and then you put your clothes on, you leave, and there's some little kid outside the stadium, Mr. Flair, can I have your autograph? And you're like, really?
Why?
Really?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that's the one part of the game that when I stand behind a batting cage and watch these guys hit, that I don't miss at all. Because you remember how hard it was when you were struggling, and the mental part of it.
You miss catching?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Really?
I miss working with pitchers.
That's one thing. I don't see how you could miss it. I remember watching Jorge Posada walk through the locker room with just the nastiest bruises from foul tips. And so how can you miss that?
No, you miss like going through a game plan with a guy like Scherzer and how you want to try to get a lineup out, and then realizing he doesn't have that, and you have to go to another plan and get him through a game. And nobody else probably in the stadium realizes it except the pitcher and catcher, that you made an adjustment, you helped them out.
See, I thought batting practice was a fun time. It was a great time. Just camaraderie and the working part of getting ready for the game. That was fun.
What was your career batting average?
I don't know. Here, it was over 300 in New York.
Yeah, that's why it was a fun time. Try going out there with...
Well, everybody hits over 300 in batting practice.
Not everybody. You don't know your career batting average?
I know in New York it's
288 you are.
What was it in New York?
It was over 3 with checking.
So in other words, all right, I like batting practice in New York better than I liked it in Cincy. How's that?
Popped up. caught there by Worth. Yankees play the Orioles tomorrow, so let's take a look at the starting pitchers. Brought to you by Verizon Fios. Welcome to America's fastest, most consistent, most reliable internet. Welcome to life on Fios. Boy, this Jason Hamill, they got him from the Rockies with Guthrie. He's gotten off to a great start. 3-0, 1.73. Hiroki Kuroda, who was outdueled by Yu Darvish in Texas, but pitched well. 1-3, 4.38. Our coverage starts at 6. And then after that pregame, then after that game time at 7:07. Another base hit for Chavez, who's 2 for 2 with a walk.
Well, a carbon copy of his first base hit, a little ground ball between the hole, first and second.
And I tell you what, you looked at those numbers, they're very similar to what we saw yesterday. Kind of surprising with Drew Smyly. I mean, he threw the ball really well. 1-some ERA, and I mean, it's 3 or 4 starts to start off your career. That's a good way to do it.
But that second inning, 36 pitches. Rob Drake, the home plate umpire, had a little bit to do with that. That issue's kind of gone away, though, last couple innings, huh? We haven't really noticed those close strikes not going his way.
Stewart hits a high pop-up. Santiago makes the play. So here's Derek Jeter. Derek 1 for 2, infield single, a walk, and a strikeout. Paul, your career average at Yankee Stadium. Is this at the stadium or as a Yankee? At the stadium, 310.
Told you I liked hitting here. It was fun. Michael, let me give you a stat. Derek Jeter's 8 for 20 with runners in scoring position. You like that?
I like when you do stat work.
It comes up to 400. You're right at the, I mean, 3-1, you're right at the, especially the way CC's thrown. I mean, these are big outs with men in scoring position. This is a big inning for Scherzer to try to keep this game really close. Can't let it get out of hand the way Sebastian throwing the ball.
And as a Yankee, you hit it 303. For some reason, one number sticks in mind. I think when you were with the Reds, was your average with the Reds 259?
Something like that.
Yeah. $35 hits for Jeter.
Jeez, that backup slider.
Yeah, those are terrible. Where you check swing and it end up costing you a strike. See Scherzer, they're here in the 5th inning. 116 pitches. Ball in off the plate, trying to get out of the way, and it just ends up hitting the barrel of the bat.
You know, if Scherzer can get himself through this inning like you were talking about, Paul, I mean, actually not a bad job. 6 walks in this game. Only 3 runs on the board to this point. I mean, he can go in saying, I didn't have it today, and kept my club in the ball game. We'll see.
Flash, you kind of touched on it. I mean, you have games like this, you look back and, you know, you're frustrated you didn't have any good stuff, but you also have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know, that could have very easily been 8-1.
Easy. See where Derek's foul ball ended up right here? Right in the middle of the P. Broke the sign.
Blew a hole in it.
That was a power shot. Pekonen and Benoit.
You know, Flash, if we're not pitching coaches, but if you were pitching coach and coming into the game, you said that, Scherzer's working on a little two-seamer to add to his four-seamer. To me, if he could ever get a good feel of that slider, he'd be a completely different pitcher.
Yeah, they were talking before the game, too, about the slider going into a righty. 7 walks today. I missed one. Scherzer, or the slider going into a lefty. Kind of give the left-hander another look instead of fastball changeup.
Runner goes. That one is chopped to short. Charging is Santiago. It's an infield single for Jeter.
Well, it's not the first time you've seen it. Derek Jeter gets out of the box. The way he swings the bat, you'll see there's no hesitation. He's off and running. Santiago does as much as he can do with that play. Derek Jeter still get down the line pretty well.
Took a lot of time to get rid of it, didn't he? When he had it, thought it had to be a bang-bang play. He took his time.
Well, that's going to do it for Scherzer with a very high pitch count. He's done. He leaves the bases loaded, and he's trailing 3-1. All of that adds up to 3-1 Yankees, and they are threatening for more with the bases loaded and 2 outs here in the 5th. As Jim Leland makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. And that call brings in Luke Pekonen, making his major league debut. This is what he did in 6 games in Toledo.
Throwing him right to the Wolves, huh? Bases loaded, 2 outs. Curtis Granderson, Yankee Stadium, 3-1 game. Go get him, kid.
Talk about Jim Leland being kind of an old school guy. It's only a major league debut. Get out there and get somebody out. Let's go.
Think that heart's pumping a little bit.
You know, sometimes when you think about it, the situation might take over and just, I need to get out. He might kind of get you away from just, this is my first out.
It feels pretty good about the first batter he faces. He works out of a bases loaded jam by getting Granderson to ground out to second. No runs, 2 hits, and the bases left loaded. We go to the 6th, 3-1. Sports Bar is a great place to gather and enjoy the game. All right, we go to the 6th inning. Sabathia nursing 3-1 lead. Top of the order for the Tigers. Austin Jackson will start it off. Tapped right back to the mound. Sabathia makes the play, 1 down. Beautiful Sunday afternoon in New York City. Perfect weather on an April 29th as Brennan Bosch digs in. Bosch doubled to left center in the first and struck out in the fourth. The other hit against CC was Prince Fielder's home run into the second deck in the 4th inning. Solo shot, obviously. And there's a strike.
You see CC continually strike 1, strike 2, and it puts so much pressure on the other team. You know, that's just, you're not going to get free runs. You're not going to get a rally started by walks. And this is when he's at his best, when he just keeps going after hitters.
Right in on the hands.
You know, Paul, when I look at the pitch count, 67 pitches already with 1 out in the 6th inning. That's when I think of CC at his best, like you're saying. You know, it's a lot of strikes, but economical with the pitches. He's able to go deep in games because the pitch count is always down. Larry Rothschild looking on, and what is a close game at 3-1. It almost felt like it would get out of hand early. It never did.
In the old days, you think CC Sabathia, I think he had that mentality where he wanted to strike everybody out. And I don't think it bothers him to, you know, to get first ball ground outs now, and it saves so many pitches when you don't go, you know, you're not striking everybody out, you're not going deep into counts.
Line drive, base hit.
I'll tell you what, Bosch had some good at bats today. Like I said, he came out with a game plan that he was going to drag bunt. His first at bat, he fouled that off, and he laced one to left center. Now he waited on a curveball really well, kept his hands back, little slider, away, and just stays with it, hooks it into right field.
This type of games always scared me. You know, when you're playing and you feel like, see another look, a nice line drive, and you feel like you should be up more than you're up, and it's the middle of the game. It's only a 2-run game. And you're thinking one swing from this big man and we could have a tie game, and we've dominated for 5 innings. Changeup right there from CC. We have not seen too many changeups, and it wasn't his best one, up and away. Every inning. Nice job with the pitch count.
Stewart didn't find it for a moment.
Sorry, Michael. Flash, this is where as a catcher, you said you do get scared, and all of a sudden I think CC is like, wow, you know, I do have a 2-run lead here, and I got Cabrera at the plate. He's missed with a couple pitches bad.
Well, scared's probably not the right word. It's more uncomfortable that, you know, you feel like you should be up by a lot more. And CC has been so good. Now behind in the count 2-0. And great numbers from Cabrera off of Sabathia.
Count 3-0. You can see Stewart saying, take it down a notch.
You know, I just watched Cabrera's take right there. For a big man, he hardly had any stride. You know, he just kind of has a little rhythm at the plate. He's almost talking to himself, giving himself reminders, spread stance, not a lot of movement. It's a tough combination for a pitcher trying to get him out.
Yeah, you have to really be strong to hit that way. Pujols is a lot that way. The less movement, obviously, if you don't take a big stride, the less movement, the less your head moves, everything, and you just see the baseball so much better. And all it is he's actually just turning that front foot to keep that front hip in, and he's just letting it go. And like I said, when you're not striding and your head's not moving towards the pitcher at all, there's so little movement that the only thing you're doing, you see that just that little curl of the foot, and it keeps that front hip in there and just loads him to the point where he can drive the ball.
Hammered into left center field and deep. That ball is going to be one hop up against the wall. Brennan Bosch is going to score. Cabrera's on second with an RBI double, and the Tigers have pulled to within one.
Well, Cabrera had a fastball in a 3-1 count that he was a little late for, and CC decided to go for the slider 3-2, and it's right down the middle, which speeds Cabrera's bat up enough. He just hammers it to left center field. Double RBI. Brennan Bosch runs pretty well from first base. He'll score easily. Just a different sound off the bat.
His approach to me, and we saw him hit the ball to right field a lot this series, but they've all been in 2-strike counts. I think when he gets behind in the count, he goes more towards right fielder, much more dangerous of a hitter because he doesn't come off everything. Yeah. And it's why he's able to hit over 300 and still hit with the power he does.
Speaking of power, Prince Fielder with that home run in the 4th inning. 1 out, tying run is at second. Fastball inside, 1-1. Since 2008, only Pujols and Howard have more home runs than Fielder. Howard's out with an injury, and Pujols is stuck at 0 for this year. Driven out to deep right. Ibanez will make the play. He'll get the ball in. Didn't hit that hard and still was right in front of the warning track.
Yeah, out off the end of the bat a little bit. He was full. He hit a curveball earlier in the day that kind of hung. That ball had decent movement. Got to the outside part of the bat. You can see he just tried to hook that ball out of here.
Yeah, a little different from the approach Friday night. No, everything was the other way. Had an opportunity for an RBI too, but decided to take a chance. Hook one in the seats.
Here's Brad Eldred. Foul back.
Flash, we were talking yesterday, and I saw him in the cage today. Just, you don't realize, 6'6", 270. Big guy. I mean, that's where a lot of his power comes from. And also, if you're a catcher, you hear 6'6", 270, the first thing you think, we got to tie this guy up.
Inside.
Don't let him get his long arms out and extended.
Did he go? No, said Blazer.
Trying to come inside. See Stewart setting up well off the plate. Held a swing up, but problem with that, if you don't get that slider in there like Cabrera where it spun middle of the plate, it could go a long way. So pound that fastball in and bounce the slider.
Ground it to short. Jeter is there, and that will do it. But the Tigers creep closer. 1 run, 2 hits. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and A-Rod will start it off. For the season, which of these storylines has been the most intriguing? You've been texting us at 42951, and here's how you voted. 47% think it's the Angels' issues. Not too many people are blown away by the Cardinals' success. Nationals winning, 34%. Another great outing by Strasburg last night. 7 innings. Strong, 9 strikeouts, and Kemp's dominance. People are getting used to it, I guess. Alex Rodriguez grounds one to short. Santiago Fields, 1 down. Yankees actually will play the Nationals in interleague play this June. That'll be in D.C.
Have they played there yet? Have you seen that ballpark?
I have not seen that ballpark yet. Here's Cano, 1 for 3. Yankees leading 3-2. Strike. Bottom of the 6th inning.
I watched Peconin, and the Yankees obviously do not know a lot about him. His major league debut looks like a pretty good sinking fastball. A couple of ground balls already. There's a lot of conversations in the dugout about what he has.
Took something off that and really dropped it out of the zone.
Straight down. Always love those conversations in the dugout. You know, a little sinker, and the guys would say, he's got nothing, right? He's
Yeah.
got nothing.
Usually the guy just made an out.
Yeah.
He's throwing his helmet in there. He's got nothing.
I'd walk up there and say, wow, it looks like something to me. It's pretty good.
Nasty stuff.
Fouled away.
Talking to the Detroit, I mean, they're going home playing the Kansas City, and then the Yankees, after the Baltimore, are going to Kansas City. So the Royals have a little tough week coming up here, back to back against the Tigers and the Yankees.
One, 2. Base hit up the middle. Cano, 2 for 4.
Yankee State. You working this week, Flash?
Studio.
Studio.
Yeah, weekend.
You know, that studio, I don't know if they tried to pull a trick on me or not. I don't know. Last time in town, I worked the studio, right? So it's Sunday. They dropped me off. They moved the studio. They've even changed floors since I've been there. So I'm asking this guy, seriously, I got a show to do here. Where's the studio? And the guy's like, you're not even on the right floor here, pal. And I'm like, oh, wow, it has been a while. But we did make it.
Did they cater it well for you?
Oh, Bob Lorenz took care of me, man. He's got all the locals. They deliver anything. It was great. Who's in the booth with you, Mike?
Tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going home. I can't go.
Kenny.
Oh, Kenny? Oh, that's Kenny's like Mr. Oriole. He does all the Oriole games. I won't be in the car service. I'll miss that tomorrow, Michael. I won't be in the car service listening to your show.
And now there's a new way to listen.
By the way, you're on FM now.
Yeah, we switched to FM at 12:01 tonight, 98.7 FM, the new ESPN radio. We're thrilled about it.
Impressive.
FM, so you can hear me in stereo.
It's just another station you can take over. You've got every outlet covered.
Driven to left field. Rayburn will make the play.
You got an app yet? Michael K app?
No, there's an ESPN radio app.
Well, I know that. I'm talking about a Michael K app.
What would my app have?
Big self-portrait.
So next time you're in town, Paul, you set the dial at 98.7 FM. All right?
Instead of so I get better reception.
Oh, well, you'll hear us all everywhere.
Sweet.
It's a killer signal. Here's Andrew Jones. And if you want to tweet me at Real Michael K. And everybody, am I right, John? Everybody's clamoring for O'Neal on Twitter.
They are. They're all over.
I just heard this is your handle. Isn't that what? Isn't that the old
like
CB?
CBs, yeah.
Your old handle on the CB radio. Is that the official name? Your handle?
Yeah, it's called the handle. Yeah. I mean, you'd make a lot of people happy if you would get a handle.
Next time I'm getting a handle on it.
And there's Flash 17.
Oh,
This
wow.
is a very popular one.
I do feel bad now.
Kenny's a holdout, but I think he's starting to bend a little bit. I think he might be coming around.
You know, it's funny because you keep talking about it, you know, how nice it is, how beautiful a day is at the ballpark. I mean, it's 3-2, and it doesn't feel like either team is uptight at this point. You know, it's a close game. Got a young pitcher in there. Need to try to get CC a couple more runs.
If you could sign up for a day like this for the rest of your life, wouldn't you take it? Like, no cold weather, no hot weather. This is just perfect.
There's places in the world like this, you know. Mexico, deserts.
Really?
Yeah, pretty close. I know one thing, they're not in Ohio.
10 degrees warmer. Can I ask for 10 degrees warmer?
I like this. I mean, if that's what makes the deal, I'll give you the 10 degrees.
It's a deal closer.
Nice play there by Santiago. He fires to second, not in time. Beaten out by Cano. And a base hit for Jones.
Well, nice play by Santiago to get there. Andrew Jones rooting for Cano to get to second base. Nice play laying out. Good strong throw. Not in time. Santiago's showing a little range in this ballgame, knocking a few balls down the left side. Nice feeling for Andrew Jones, huh? Mm-hmm. Little infield base hit.
You said it right. You're rooting for that guy to beat that throw to get you a base hit.
Here's Ibanez. And as the guys have been saying, the Yankees seem like they're dominating this game. It's 3-2. There's no margin of error. They could use a couple more runs.
Yeah, you feel like maybe one swing of the bat could put the Tigers to sleep maybe, but Yankees haven't been able to do it early on in this game.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. CeCe would like more runs. A 1-0. 2-0. And Jeff Jones going to talk with the rookie. We just heard that Nick Swisher left the game with a tight left hamstring. The 2-0.
Good pitch to hit right there. That ball kind of sat up in the hitting zone, and I've said it many times up here as a hitter, you step out of the box and you just know that you just cannot miss this pitch. That ball right there.
and a walk to Ibanez, and that will load the bases.
Well, he came into the game with bases loaded. Now he's got bases loaded again of his own making. 2 outs.
Chavez with 2 hits and a walk today.
Well, the Yankees just waiting for that one big hit. It's a little tougher here with 2 outs for Eric.
One and one.
Talk about a big pitch right there. You go to 2-0 with bases loaded as a young pitcher, you're starting to get a little nervous. Still not out of a jam by any means, but boy, you don't want to get into it just a 2-0, 3-1 count. Helped him out a little bit there. That was 94 though, a little bit out of the zone. That's really the first time he's come up. Everything seems to be down with that sinking fastball.
Colin Ballister is up. Ground ball to first. Fielder's there, and he will beat Chavez to the bag, and that will do it. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 3 men left on base. We're going to go to the 7th inning. Yankees up by 1.
Well, we're going to get a good look at CC Sabathia's slider. A good one to Prince Fielder, down and away. Rayburn gets a look at the slider, middle of the plate. A fastball dotted on the outside corner, and then Brennan Bosch, another slider down and away. Your Mazda pitcher's profile.
Here's Ryan Rayburn. Pitch is high, 1-0. Cadillac scoreboard 3-2. Yankees lead the Tigers. Ground ball is short. Jeter is right there. 1 away.
Well, Michael, we talked yesterday about getting into the bullpen in the second inning and what CC needed to do, and he's done it so far. I mean, he's thrown the ball well. He's thrown strikes. We're in the 7th inning here. Bullpen hasn't even been called yet. So now you're into the part of the game where Joe Girardi has a real good feel on what he wants to do. If it stays as it is, obviously in the 9th inning you'll see Mariano. If not, you got Robertson in the 8th if you have any trouble. Much easier as a manager to manage that bullpen when you get a starter out there that gets you in the 7th, 8th inning.
Well, it'll be interesting to hear CC in the clubhouse on the postgame with Meredith, but I'm sure he's going to talk about fastball command. It's been a theme early on for him that he has not been happy with it all day long. I'm thinking about his fastball has pretty much put it where he wanted to.
This game and the last game in Texas, which have been his best starts of the year, to me, his slider's been, been really, really good, to the point where he can bury it in on righties and he can strike out lefties with it.
Slow roller, back to CC, fires to first and he gets him. Gunning down Santiago.
There's that slider again, Paul, and only 86 pitches with 2 outs in the 7th. Down and in, he doesn't get the strikeout, but a weak ground ball. An easy play. Trying to think back in this game how many changeups he's thrown. One bad one I can remember.
Yeah, there hasn't been too many. I think you can count them on one hand.
Yeah.
And there are games when CC does, will throw that changeup a lot, especially for strikeouts, and especially when he's behind in a count, in a fastball count.
Pitch to Laird is a strike. High fly ball, right center. Granderson will make the play, and a 1-2-3 inning for CC Sabathia. We've played 6.5. It's time to stretch here at the stadium. 7-pitch, 1-2-3 inning for CC Sabathia, but now we will listen to God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
To the old
The Orioles, if you take the fact that the Yankees swept them, they've gotten off to a great start, 13-8, tied with the Rays, and the Yankees are a game and a half out. Blue Jays 2 back, and the Red Sox are 2.5 back. So it's tight in the American League East, and nobody is under 500.
You know, it's funny. I was looking at the paper today, and I'm looking at, in streaks, and the Red Sox have won 6 in a row, and they're 10-10. Shows you what type of start they got off to.
Andy Dirks takes over in left field.
Michael, I mentioned, or I just heard Bob Lorenz talking. What Adam Dunn has 5 home runs. Gone off to a pretty good start, right after a miserable year.
Last year was one of the worst years any regular players ever had in the majors.
With that many at bat, I mean, he led 100 against lefties, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Cadillac scoreboard 3-2 Yankees.
Michael, you mentioned Twitter before. I'm getting a lot of tweets up here about Laird behind the plate and how he throws the ball back to the pitcher. A lot of hesitation there.
Didn't that ruin Mackey Sasser's career?
Oh, Mackey Sasser, yeah.
And, being an ex-catcher, I went through times in my career where throwing the ball back to the pitcher was not the easiest thing to do. And he is known as one of the best.
Base hit for Stewart.
A swing by Stewart. But Laird behind the plate is known as one of the best throwers of the baseball, throwing runners out. Sometimes the abbreviated throwing stroke back to the pitcher.
Doesn't want to overuse it. Remember, we talked about Verlander. He'll never reach above his head. Laird doesn't want to waste too many good throws, Pauses there, takes care of that arm.
What brings it on, John? Is it just a blip that happens one day?
When I was in the minor leagues, I could fire the ball back to the pitcher in between innings, when it wasn't a problem. I got to the big leagues, and all of a sudden the stadiums got a little bigger, the lights were a little brighter, and I'm like, I don't want to throw this away. And you start thinking about it. But when a runner steals, it just happens. It's a reaction. You don't think about it.
That's really funny because, you go through certain things. Blindfolded, I could get a ball off the wall, turn and throw it, and it'd end up right at the vicinity of second base. And all of a sudden you would get put in a position, to play first for an inning or something, and you'd get a pickoff throw, and all of a sudden you're going to throw back to the pitcher, and you're like, I haven't made this throw. I can throw this thing over to third base very easily. It's just a different throw, a different release.
Jeter showed bunt on that first pitch. Now he's staring down at Rob Thompson, the third base coach. So the Yankees might be playing for 1 run here just to pad that lead a bit. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Shows bunt again. Takes a pitch low, 2-0.
You get into the position where you might want to go hit and run or just a take, and all of a sudden it seems like an easy decision. You want to try to bunt a guy over, but then you get behind in the count, and it sets those wheels in motion as far as Girardi, what he wants to try to do.
That time wasn't bunting in the count 3-0.
Paul, you and I have talked about Derek too. There are times in his career when he's feeling good, he'll swing the bat, and other times when he's in a little slow stretch, will lay down a bunt in certain situations. Expect him to be taking here 3-0.
And he does take. Count 3-1.
See Derek Jeter looking down at Robbie Thompson. It's important to know at 3-1 whether that runner is in motion, because if it's 3-1, you can still look for your pitch, but 3-1 if he's in motion and it's a strike, especially with the catcher running, no pun there, light flash, but you need to put the ball in play.
Runner goes. And that one is driven out to right field. Long run for Bosch. It's a foul ball.
Chris Stewart, looking back, you'd expect if he was on the move 3-1, he'd be on the move again 3-2.
Runner goes. Derek will take another look down to third base, and you see Robbie Thompson's wearing the long sleeve blue, and there's a reason for that. On the hottest days, he has to wear it because he has to have a contrast between his hands and his arms, so you could see if he's putting a finger, that could be putting a finger on the side of his arm if you can't see it up against the arm skin. So he'll always have that blue undershirt on to provide the contrast. Pitch is high, so Jeter walks. Hey, it's time for the game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 3-10-0 for the Yanks, 2-4-0 for the Tigers. Granderson a solo home run and 2 ribbies. Sabathia has pitched very well, and Scherzer struggled. 4 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 7 walks, which is a career high, but you got to give him credit. He never let the game get out of hand. So here's Granderson. Now, do they have Granderson bunt? He bunted in the first inning. Tigers expecting it. They're in at the corners. Not bunting. 0-1.
I was just thinking before that pitch, Michael, I mean, this is an opportunity. They're all set up for the big inning. 9-hitter Stewart gets a base hit. Leadoff hitter Jeter walks. Now you have the meat of your lineup coming up. Nobody out. Aggressive on the first pitch, swinging. We'll see if he goes back to a bunt here. Nope.
0-2. First big league appearance for Pucona. It doesn't seem as if he really scares.
It's like he has just a little bit of problem controlling that sinker at times. But, you know, you said Curtis Granderson bunted in the first inning, and I said the same thing to Flash. I thought he was bunting for a base hit. Not your typical sacrifice guy. Guy's capable of hitting 40 home runs. But I agree, Flash. You know, you get the big inning right here. You know, you throw it a 2 or 3 spot up here. You know, CC Sabathia might just.
That's enough. It's over.
That'd be it.
Yep.
1-2. Driven to right field, but foul. Take a look back at the Coors Light cold hard blast. This was in the 4th inning with Granderson at the plate.
Well, again, Curtis Granderson gets good wood on it, but the end of the play was almost as exciting as the beginning of the play. It was an unbelievable play. Very relieved to finish that trot around the bases.
The 1-2. Way upstairs and outside. 2-2. And the count is full.
You're right, Paul. When he misses in the identical same spot every time, it seems like. Up and away to a lefty. Now a lot of pressure to throw a quality strike. 3-2, first and second with Alex Rodriguez on deck.
Runners do not go, and that pitch is foul back.
You know, it's funny because I was just thinking as you were watching Jim Leland looking on, and we were talking earlier in the game about scouting reports for hitters. And Jim Leland is going through the same thing. You get scouting reports on guys from your AAA manager and this, but until you really see what they do on the mound, you know, the verdict is out.
3-2. Foul back.
Well, when you watch a young pitcher, young hitter in spring training, it's not the same.
No.
I mean, they can go down there and have a great spring. All of a sudden, you get big league stadiums, big league lineups, a little more intensity.
This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. High fly ball. Deep right center. Austin Jackson back. Track. Wally makes the play. Both runners tag, and both runners will make it. So Granderson flirted with a 3-run home run, but Jackson ran it down.
And I tell you what, and he went to a breaking ball there, which he hadn't seen the whole count, but it was up out over the plate. Had the guts to go to it, but he kind of hung it. Curtis Granderson just missed it. As good as a sacrifice bunt.
He thinks it's a pop-up.
Yeah, that's not an infield fly roll there. That's 395 feet away.
Here's Alex Rodriguez, and the infield is in on the right side, halfway on the left side. Breaking ball just missed outside.
Santiago playing a little double play depth at shortstop, and Stewart, as you mentioned, Paul, a catcher, doesn't run that well at third base. A hard ground ball to short. You still have a play at home, and the right side playing in.
One and one.
Ball hit to the right side. I mean, you look back the runner, but there's no way where Santiago is playing shortstop that you can turn a double play from shortstop.
I was pointing at double play depth.
Yeah,
there.
too much distance here, and to your point, Flash, I mean, a pull hitter in Alex, if he gets a hold of one, it gives you a little more time on that left side of the infield.
Yankees 3 for 12 with runners in scoring position. 14 men have been left on base. Two and two.
I'm kind of interested to see what the young right-hander does right here. I mean, had an opportunity to pick up a huge strikeout with Robinson Cano on deck. Does he have a breaking ball he can fool Alex with down and away, or does he try to beat him with a fastball in?
Seems like he's got the stuff to get to 2 strikes. He hasn't had the stuff to get guys out. And there's a big difference because, you know, he's really a 2-pitch pitcher from what we've seen, and it's a sinking fastball and kind of an okay curveball. So you've got to have something that's just a little bit better than both of his pitches to get a strikeout.
Or a third pitch here, which Alex hasn't seen. Don't know if he has it.
So A-Rod has worked the count full.
Well, it's a game you play if you're a catcher behind the plate. Alex Rodriguez has seen a fastball inside. Is he thinking about a breaking ball away? Do you come back in with a fastball and try to trick him?
I think they've been trying to get him out inside.
Chopped to short. They're going to come home with the ball, and he is safe. He got in ahead of the tag. Yankees now lead 4-2, and here comes Leland.
Jim Leland was a little frustrated with the strike zone of Rob Drake, the home plate umpire, early on. Exactly what we talked about with Santiago playing double play depth. A ground ball his way, he might have a play at home.
Close.
The tag was high. Did the foot beat him?
He's safe. Great call. That was not an easy call. At least seeing that in live action speed.
Anything he did wrong at the plate there, Flash, and a little more time to block the plate, possibly?
Maybe throw his shin guard in there and try to take the corner away. Now, usually you're taught to take the glove right to home plate, which would have been somewhere over here, and the tag ended up high.
So Chris Stewart showing some speed and slides in under the tag as Leland will go to the bullpen. Yankees up by 2. Tigers go to Colin Ballister. 6 games so far this season, a lot of walks. And he will deal to Cano, first and third. That one is driven out to left field and deep. Going back, Dirk. Still back. He makes the play on the track. Tagging is Jeter. He will score. It's a sac fly for Cano. And the Yankee lead is now 5-2.
You talk about Robbie not off to the start that he wants to be, but with men in scoring position, what a great way to do it. Go to left center, left field, stay on the ball a little bit longer. See how he's behind the ball here. Really lets it travel deep. That's an easy way to get that ball in the outfield and get that runner in from third. Big run right there. I mean, that's a 3-run lead, and the way CeCe's throwing the ball, it's a big lead.
What do you think, Paul? I mean, good signs for Robbie tonight. A couple of base hits right back up the middle, and that ball, even though it beat him a little bit, had some carry on it.
Line drive right at fielder to retire Mark Teixeira, who was 0 for 5. But the Yankees get 2 really big runs on 1 hit, 1 man left. We go to the 8th. Yanks up 3.
Social networking app lets Yankee fans interact with each other and the broadcast booth while watching the game. See what other fans are tweeting about and get up-to-the-minute scores and in-depth pitch-by-pitch stats, all at yesnetwork.com. I could read them, Michael. I just can't do them.
We go to the 8th. And that one is hammered foul. So the Yankees get 2 big runs in the 7th to give CeCe some breathing room. And the fielder's choice gave Alex Rodriguez an RBI, which now breaks the tie with Willie Mays. And Alex now stands alone in 8th place. And he is 13 behind Eddie Murray, next stop on that list. And Hank Aaron is at the top. Hyundai scoreboard 5-2. Yankees lead Detroit. Flirting with extra base hits, but can't keep it fair.
You know, we were just going to put the ball boy on the highlight film, but he booted it out there. First error of the year. You look at the pitching line, seven so far, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs. That's kind of an ace of the staff outing.
Just looking up there too, this is the 3rd straight start in which he's pitched into the 8th inning. You know, in the month of April, traditionally his worst month.
The 3-2 pitch. High, so Worth walks. And when you consider that the Yankee bullpen yesterday had to go 7 1/3 innings, they needed a long outing from their starter today. And Sabathia has given them just what they needed. He's still at a good pitch count, 94. And the back end of the Yankee bullpen is rested because Girardi was able to navigate that 7 1/3 using the front end of the bullpen. There's a strike.
Yeah, I'm sure that walk right there to the number 9 hitter is going to frustrate CC Sabathia. 3-run lead as David Robertson now stirring in the Yankee pen.
You ever look up as a catcher? I know we do now. It's always a pitch count, this or that. But as a catcher, you know, you want to get a guy through possibly the 5th inning, a 7th inning, whatever. Look up and see a pitch count and start trying to rush back there to get him through innings?
No, you know what pitching coaches and Larry Rothschild in this case would do? He would say, hey, you got to get his pitch count down, get a quick inning. You know, and I would always take that as a catcher, a lot of breaking balls early in counts, trying to get some swings, get some ground balls. But in this case, I think Chris Stewart behind the plate is saying, you know what, my number 1 guy has been locked in all day long. Let's try to get him through 8th, and if the manager wants to go to the closer, so be it.
Swing and a miss. Jackson strikes out. He is 0 for 4. Well, you can vote along with us for today's Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 14951 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Today's candidates are number 1, Curtis Granderson, number 2, CC Sabathia, number 3, Eric Chavez, number 4, Alex Rodriguez. Vote now. Make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Stevie Donahue getting the right phone as Bosch bunts foul.
Bosch started this ball game off same thing, trying to think about a bunt for a base hit. He's had a nice day, 2 for 3. Trying to take advantage of Alex Rodriguez playing deep at 3rd base. Get on base for your middle of the lineup.
So 0-2 on Bosch. Bosch 2 for 3 against CC. Yankees 5 runs on 10 hits. Tigers 2 runs on 4 hits. Missed outside. Might be the hardest pitch he's thrown all day.
Well, I was just thinking too, after the leadoff walk to the number 9 hitter, as good of a sequence as Austin Jackson gets a strikeout, and then he just missed with that fastball there. Perfect 0-2 pitch. You mentioned the velocity, Michael. These last 2 at bats, he's been good all day, but the last 2 at bats, he was great.
1-2. Foul back.
See too many lefties have good swings off CC Sabathia, and Brendan Bosch has had some good swings today. He hooked the ball into right field on a breaking ball, drove one into left center. Good solid hitter. Must be that magic 2-hole we talked about earlier in the game, hitting ahead of Cabrera and Fielder.
1-2. Swung on a miss. He struck him out. Big strikeout for Sabathia.
Well, the pitch before is the one Bosch is going to be thinking about as he goes back to the dugout. As Paul mentioned, a good swing. And this is a perfectly executed slider in the dirt. And the pitch before, Paul mentioned what a good swing it was. This is the one you think about. Needed to do something with that, and he didn't. Cost him.
Yeah, when you're facing a really good pitcher, chances are you might see one good pitch to hit, and you need to put it in play because they're going to make their pitches.
Cabrera swings and misses. .38 strikeouts for Sabathia. That leads the American League, just ahead of Jared Weaver. One. Driven out into right field. Ibanez will make the play. And 8 strong innings for CC Sabathia. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left. Andrew Jones leads off the bottom of the inning. Part by Acura. Acura Advance. Well, we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Yankees are leading this one 5-2. A crowd of 43,084 here at the ballpark. And Andrew Jones takes outside from Colin Ballister. Mariano loosening up. Jones fouls one straight back.
I guess that answers your question,
yeah.
Flash.
Yep.
Hyundai scoreboard 5-2, Yankees lead. Chris Stewart having a conversation with Joe Girardi, and then he goes over to CeCe and goes, all right, good job. 8 strong innings. If you just tuned in wondering where Nick Swisher is, well, when Nick walked in the 3rd inning, like he tweaked his hamstring, and that's what happened, left hamstring. And Andrew Jones came in a pinch run. Count 3-2. High pop-up and out of play.
Saw Brett Gardner last night out when we were out to dinner. I was anxious to try to get back. Took some swings yesterday. Not too far off.
Could be back with the Yankees when they go to Kansas City for Thursday's game. 3-2. That one's drilled deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. A long home run for Andrew Jones. And the Yankees lead 6-2.
Nick Swisher started this game in right field. A little hamstring problem. Andrew Jones gets called upon. He's done a nice job the second half of the game. Base hit. Now he follows it up with his third home run of the year. Fastball middle in. Not a bad way to finish off your day when you started it on the bench.
Once in a while, when you get those unexpected at-bats, it's just, they happen. You know, you don't put too much, you don't overthink things. You just get in the game and you play. It's funny, you look at Andrew Jones' career and you don't see too many guys that were, I mean, he was a star, a superstar at Atlanta. Gold Glove winner, hitting 40 home runs. You don't see guys go from being a star player to role players in their career, really. You know, you see them kind of progressively go down and then they go off and they retire. Yeah. But he's done a good job. He's found a little niche here with the Yankees. Handles left-handed pitching, still can handle anybody's fastball in the game.
You never had to do it, but don't you think you have to accept it as an
ex-star
player?
Thing.
Yeah.
It's the first thing you do is say mentally, hey, you know, this is a role now. I'm not the same player. And that's so hard to do as a player, to tell yourself you're not the same player, because you're saying, hey, I'm not as good as I was. Yeah. And it's very hard to get through your own mind sometimes. You know, numbers wise, some of the numbers he has as far as stolen bases, golden gloves, home runs, I mean, he's got numbers that guys in the Hall of Fame have.
Chavez fouls it away. Another foul ball.
Yeah, we were just watching Mariano warm up, and that home run kind of sat him down. Mariano, he's not a guy that you need to get extra work and things like that. If it's not a safe situation, seldom you're not going to see him. David Robertson will come up. And I think that, you know, CC Sabathia could have gone back out. But yeah. I think once you take a guy out, you know, you lose that game face. You go inside, and you can't go back in there and say, hey, why don't you go back out there and finish this?
You know, and I forget what manager it was. It was my time in Tampa Bay. That happened, where the manager shook the player's hand, said, you're done, and then we scored a bunch of runs and asked him to go back out. A disaster.
Yeah.
Because mentally he had just shut it down.
Turn it off. It's hard to turn it back on.
Here's Chris Stewart. Big hit for Chris Stewart to start off the seventh. Got the Yankees those 2 runs, stretched 3-2 to 5-2.
Was this going to save Flash? I mean, this has got to kind of make you smile. At just a perfect day for Chris Stewart. Caught a great game. CC Sabathia pitched a great game. He got a hit, got some swings, got a game under his belt. Just kind of a perfect day for the backup catcher.
You know what makes well, that would make that kid's day too. A little high five from Derek Jeter. But when Sabathia, we showed him giving the high five to Chris Stewart in the dugout, that makes your day as a backup. Number one guy appreciates what you did behind the plate.
How come you don't high five me after the games, Michael? What's up? Huh?
You'll run out of here.
Is that it?
No time to tackle you. Count 2-2. Missed outside, and the count 3-2. Running dialogue between that little guy and Derek Jeter.
Never understood it. And Derek's done it his whole career. How he can sit and talk and is able to turn it off and turn it when he needs to go to the box.
That one's drilled deep to left. If it's fair, it's gone. It is a foul ball.
Oh, Flash, a perfect day. Just
almost got
frustrates him now because he just missed a home run.
Showing a nice quick stroke inside, just foul.
Wow, that's cool. Knew it immediately, though. Didn't take long.
Popped up. Cabrera makes the play for the final out. But the Yankees tag on another run, a home run by Andrew Jones. Prince Fielder will start it off in the 9th inning, and he'll be batting against David Robertson. And Jack Curry recap the key moments from today, including scores and updates from around the league. Plus, Meredith Morakovitz gets some players' reactions at the clubhouse, and you'll also hear Joe Girardi's manager's report. It's the WB Mason postgame. It's only on Yes. David Robertson, you see his numbers, 13 strikeouts in 9 innings. This will be his 10th game. This is not a save situation. Yankees are up by 4. Here's Prince Fielder. Little fastball right by him, 0-1. Shattered bat right to Cano. So he's pitching the ninth, so he feels, well, I've got to be like Mo and break a bat. And that one he just sawed off.
You know, Prince Fielder's such a big, powerful, slugging first baseman. A lot of times, a lot of off-speed pitches, people try to trick him. Not David Robertson. 2 fastballs, broken bat.
Tell you one thing, though. Did you see Prince Fielder hustle down the line? I mean, he's going to be out by 20 steps, but he got out of the box, made an effort. New guy coming over. Looks good to your teammate.
Here's Brad Eldred. He's tried out the third baseman, second baseman, and the shortstop. 3 ground outs. Here's Prince out of the box.
So you get jammed like that, you could easily just kind of jog down. Look at that. They get you running in, right, Flash?
Joe Girardi told me today that you could see that Prince Fielder, even if you didn't know his story, grew up around the game. He respects the game. He knows situations, knows to take the ball the other way. He said he has a feel for the game. And he was always around his dad, Cecil, around the ballpark. Swing and a miss. Blew it right by Eldred. Tigers down to their final out.
Robertson, when he has his good control, I mean, he's so impressive to watch. And sometimes you kind of take him for granted because you're always talking about the king out there, Mariano Rivera. But Robertson is just continually coming in and just getting strikeouts, throwing strikes. Good fastball, good curveball.
There's Andy Dirks. This is his first at bat of the day. Took over for Rayburn and left. 0-1.
Be a nice win for the Yankees. Take a series after yesterday's game. CC Sabathia did his part, and a little tension in the middle of the game when you felt like they should blow it out, but it looks like it's in hand now. 4-run lead.
Yeah, in the pregame we were talking about in Texas, that was probably CC's best start of the year, and you hope that he continues to build on it, and he did that.
He did, yeah.
He was a little bit better today than he was in Texas, and that's got to be a very good sign for the pitching coach and the manager.
Spoiled that one. And the 0-2. Dirks hit a home run yesterday in the first inning, a 3-run shot off of Freddie Garcia. Made 2 nice catches in left field. But the lefty did not start the game against Sabathia. And the 0-2 really fighting it off.
He's doing a nice job with 2 strikes on some high fastballs. Dirks is just kind of shortening his swing, trying to put the ball in play. Has not seen that big curveball. You wonder if he's set up for it now.
Oh, McGill fan.
Look at that. Young fella, too. Probably wasn't even born when I was playing.
The 0-2. 1-2. And the pitch. Grounded foul. Stewart with a quick trip to the mound. Making him work.
I'm just looking at the schedule here, Michael, and this looks like this is the last time that Detroit comes to New York.
Yep.
But you do get the feeling it's not the last time they're going to play here for the year.
Well, we'll see who knocks off whom with the new playoff structure. This will be the 9th pitch of this at bat. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. It gets away from Stewart. He gets an angle. And that's the ball game as the Yankees win 6-2. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's today's Chevy Player of the Game. Lots of heroes in this one. Curtis Granderson with a home run. CC Sabathia was outstanding over 8 innings. 2 strikeouts for David Robertson in the 9th. A home run by Andrew Jones as well. Everybody contributed as the Yankees take 2 out of 3 from the Tigers. And remember, that tough 8-game stretch that we looked at, the Yankees ended up being 5-3 in those 8 games. They took the 2 games against Boston. 1 game was rained out. They lost 2 out of 3 to Texas, and they took 2 out of 3 from Detroit. So 5-3 in those 8 games. Yankees win 6-2. We've got an award to give out. You want to stay tuned for that. Then the postgame show with Bob, Jack, and Meredith. All coming up right here on Yes.